Well, there used to be. I used to use all the programs that were there, but over time they tend to be less and less satisfactory, fitting the job. So more and more the design of the tools itself and the design of the process itself has become a design task by itself while doing a design job. Because of the complexity and because of the fact that the manufacturers of applications only want to fulfill something that sells, which is not exactly, or by definition not, what I want to do with it. So if, a lot of designers fit their design needs or their final goals to what they know about these applications. I think it's to distinguish between designers. If it, in crisis like today, or with very rapid changing definitions of what a profession is about, designers that can operate one particular application have much more difficulty than designers who really dictate what the application is doing. And that can either be influencing the manufacturers or, which is much faster route, diving into it. But I don't see that much of a distinction between a design process or programming. It's sometimes I make something and I can't even remember if it was a drawing made in InDesign or Illustrator, or I made a program to write it. Once you go through the fluency of knowing the language and the syntax and the way of thinking in that kind of structure, it really becomes a sketching tool if you have chosen the right language. I don't think so. I think you can only be a good programming designer if you know all these skills as well. The distinction between you and a colleague is the knowledge about the process. And the more you know about it, the more you can put it to work for your own needs. And programming, making your own tools is part of that. Well, the two major things I'm working on is web fonts on one side and automatic page layout on the other, which is kind of the other side of the problem of doing typography online, what I think will be a major part of the future of typography. Yeah, well, currently with the introduction of the iPad, you see some kind of panic in publishers that they don't know how to deal with it. For a while, websites were just an offspring of the printed volumes, and now with this new medium, it turns out to be that it might well be in the future that they don't print anymore, or some of them won't print anymore. And then what are you going to do there? And half of the examples of publishers going on the iPad right now is making screen dumps of their existing production process, going from InDesign, making static pages and then showing them on iPad applications. And the other one is extending the capabilities of websites and going on the iPad. And there isn't anything in between yet, and I think that should be developed. And the gimmick of the iPad of turning the page that had to redefine the ratio and the layout is much more the case if you also explore the zooming effect, which will be a very important issue. And nobody really does that yet. Some pages you cannot zoom, or applications, and others you can zoom it and you see the bitmaps. There's still a lot to be developed. And the only solution to that is making applications that can generate new layouts automatically from the changing ratio of the page and changing the size of the page. And there isn't anything there yet. There's a lot of technology and knowledge missing on the website part, and there's hardly any possibility on the InDesign, or none on the InDesign part, to go from a printed thing as bitmap to an intelligent page that knows how to make its layout. We're doing some projects together with Roger Black for a magazine in the US, and we're working on a library as an extension to our web development library called Sherpa, made in Python, and that will be possible to have this WYSIWYG editor adding intelligence, online page layout, and intelligent knowledge about the page on the client side, inside the browser, all together. I hope somewhere in the end of the year, early next year. We're working on fonts, especially for, as well as a tool to make them with, especially for web. The problem with currently the whole revolution, so to say, of so many fonts becoming available as web fonts, is that they all come from a Type 1 printing technique, which is okay if you do larger sizes, headings and logos and so on. But especially for the smaller type, body type, there isn't hardly anything, and there is a lot to be developed there. And there is the capability of hinting fonts. You're adding instructions for the fonts so they look nice on a smaller scale. But the hinting tools are very old, and there are very few people who really know how to operate them. Automatic hinting tools like there are in FontLab are not suitable for that kind of resolutions, for that specific quality requirements. Well, I would say that. I wouldn't know. I really love Eric's House Industries Eames project. I didn't manage to be the first one buying it. I heard Eric Spiekerman was the first one buying the library, but we made a good second. He put a lot of stuff in that, but it's really a risk House Industries took into that. But I think they made an excellent family that covers a lot of usage for many existing families.